This video tutorial will be on the introduction to powers and repeated multiplication. To do repeated multiplication, you first need to know what a power is. In this case, the 5 is the exponent. An exponent tells us how many times we multiply the base. The base in this case will be 4. The base is the number that you multiply by itself according to the exponent. So basically what this means is 4 times itself 5 times. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. This step is called repeated multiplication. You will then evaluate the repeated multiplication, which is called finding the standard form. So you have to find the answer to 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. The answer will be 1024. If this is too complicated, you can use the exponent button on your calculator, which looks like the following. Example 2 is 8 to the power of 7. So in this example, 8 is the base and 7 is the exponent. So the repeated multiplication will be 8 times itself 7 times. We then need to find the standard form. Again, this may be hard to do yourself, so you can use the exponent button on your calculator. Standard form for 8 to the power of 7 is 2,097,152. Now we can move on to the third example, which is 10 to the power of 4. The base is 10 and the exponent is 4. In this example, the repeated multiplication will look like this. A more simple way, rather than using your calculator to find the answer, is since the 10 is the base, when you get your answer, you will have 4 zeros. This is because the exponent is 4, which will look like this. And of course, you will have a 1 in front of the zeros because the answer will not be 0. This will always work with any power as long as the base is 10. Now that we understand the basics, we can move on to example 4, which contains brackets and a negative symbol. What the brackets indicate is that the negative is part of the base. So let's start off with the repeated multiplication that will look like this. There is no need for the multiplication symbol in between the brackets because when there's just brackets like that, it indicates that it is multiplication. Now we could find the standard form by doing 6 times 6, which is 36. This will be the final answer because even though there are negatives, they are part of the base, meaning that they will not be included in the answer. Now we can try example 5, which looks like this. In this case, the repeated multiplication will look like this. There is only one negative at the front because there is only one negative in the power. The final answer in standard form will be negative because the negative 7 is not in brackets. So the standard form will be negative 343. You get this by doing the repeated multiplication. The final example is negative 2 to the power of 8. Notice how both the base and the exponent are included in the brackets, so the repeated multiplication will look like this. Everything is in the brackets because in the power, both the negative symbol and the power are in the brackets. In standard form, it will be negative 256. It is negative because, unlike example 4, the exponent is in the brackets, making the answer negative. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you now have a better understanding of powers and repeated multiplication.